Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome back to more of the Wave Race 64 playthrough. Last time we actually beat the normal championship, and now we're going to move on to the hard championship. So, yeah, let's get started. So for the character we're using this time, we're actually going to be using David Mariner. He can be one of the trickiest characters to use, which is why making a custom set of statistics is a very, very good idea. So make sure you do that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually change his stats. We're going to loosen his handling a little bit. We're also going to decrease his speed a little bit, or make him more of a dash character, rather. And we're going to increase his grip a little bit. So he wants something like this, basically. So with these stats, these should actually be pretty decent for handling the challenges in front of us. So when it comes to the hard mode of difficulty, I kind of touched on these differences a little bit in the last video, but I'll go ahead and mention them again. As far as the computer difficulty, obviously the computer players will be a little more difficult in this mode. But in addition to that, you also have to worry about some of the buoy layouts of these courses changing a little bit. Like I think on this course, for example, there are more buoys and they're going to be not as spread out. So as a result, you have to do a lot of like weaving back and forth to make it in between these. You'll also see some course obstacles being added, like those spiked mines that you saw in the water there. So they'll also be added. And the qualifying scores will also get a little more tougher for this race in particular. We actually need to get at least 3rd place to qualify. We can't just get last place and qualify. And last but not least, there is one more track that's added to the repertoire as well. So there'll be a new course we'll get to race on, which is also pretty exciting. I really like the unlockable courses in this game. They're really, really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much what you can expect for hard mode. Also, for some of the tracks, shortcuts will also open up as well that weren't in the normal mode. So you're going to want to pay attention to those as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So those are all the things that I felt like we needed to say in regards to hard mode. So let's focus on getting some first place, shall we? Managed to get first place here, with Hayami right on my tail, Stewart right behind him, and poor Derek not Derek, his name is Miles Jeter. Derek Jeter. Yeah, Derek Jeter, the the wave racer. Okay, my mistake. But yeah, that's Sunny Beach. Next up we have Sunset Bay, so we have the beautiful orange backdrop we have here, the gorgeous orange water and the sunset we have going on. This course is also pretty standard. I actually kind of prefer this course over the first course just because it's a little more interesting, but it's also not like that much harder either. So it's still a pretty beginner-friendly course, but you know, you start to kind of get into the intricacies of tracks being not simple at the very least. So you know, you'll still have to do a bit more bobbing and weaving. You'll have some tighter turns to deal with. And you also have some like little exploits you can use now and then to maybe try to get an extra, oh shoot, well I didn't mean to do that. I was focused too hard on the commentary and not what I was doing. But that's okay, that's okay. I still think we'll be fine as long as we don't make any major mistakes here. Another thing you want to look out for is you don't want to drive outside of the course as well. You see those pink balls on the right? If you drive outside of there, a timer will start after a while, and if you're not back in the course after that timer expires, then you'll also retire, much like you do if you miss too many buoys, so just be careful of that. But yeah, if you're feeling pretty good about your performance, one thing you can do is you can kind of skip some buoys. Just don't make it too much of a habit, because obviously, like right here, we can only miss one more. But yeah, if there's like a section coming up that you're having difficulty with, and you feel like it'll be better if you just skip a certain buoy, then honestly go ahead and do that. Just don't make it a habit, like I said. So yeah, we're off to a really good start. We have 2 first places, which is a great way to begin. Looks like Hayami is right on my tail, though. Jeter and Stewart are kind of trading 3rd and 4th back and forth. So as long as we continue to finish strong over Hayami, we should at least be in a good position to win this series. And of course, we just need to make sure we're continuing to get qualifying points as well. So here we are back at Drake Lake. This course doesn't really change too much. The big change that we'll have to worry about is at the very end, those wooden stakes. Because the previous race on this course didn't require us to go through the stakes that much. That'll actually change, starting with hard difficulty, so be very, very careful. So, like, kind of slow down a bit when you get to this section. Ow. Sure. But yeah, as you can see, like, that's what you'll have to deal with. So one thing you can do, kind of getting back to the point I was talking about in the previous race, is if you're having a tough time with those stakes, one thing you can do is just drive the rest of the track optimally, and then you can actually maybe afford to skip some of those last buoys if you think that'll be better for you in the long run. Because hitting those stakes can be very costly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. So I'm going to go ahead and go here, skip that yellow one. And honestly, I don't feel like I really lost a lot of speed. In fact, even Hayami actually hit something, so that kind of slowed him down a bit. He's only 2 seconds behind, so I think we can afford to do that again. And yeah, it's just a smart thing to do if like you feel like you're doing good in a race. You don't want to mess up on the last lap where you have not really any time to recover. So just keep that in mind. I'll need to be a little careful here because I missed a buoy right before that. I'm not going to exactly be at my top speed, but oh, it looks like Hayami actually messed up again too, so we did it. Unfortunately, Jeter couldn't quite take 2nd place away from him, though. So Hayami is still going to be on our tail. We're widening the gap, though, so it's not going to hinder us too much. But again, a last place could kind of throw a wrench into the system, so got to keep that in mind. So we're going to move on to Marine Fortress. Now, I mentioned this in the last video. This is a track that does actually become a bit different in the hard mode, where, yes, there will actually be some shortcuts, or just a shortcut we can take. And you're going to need to take that shortcut, because the computer players will take it as well, and they will take it better than you will. So, to kind of stay up and keep up with them, you kind of need to basically be taking the same route that they are. Also, right here, try to avoid those boxes, because those boxes can really, really slow you down. Okay, whoops. I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. That can be a really, really tough buoy to actually navigate around. But yeah, the shortcut opens up on the 2nd lap, so we don't have to worry about it just yet, but we will need to do it next, essentially. And also, this turn right here can also be kind of tricky as well. But looks like I handled it just fine. Get back away from it. Oh my god, Hayami, what the hell? Okay, there we go. So yeah, here's the shortcut. The shortcut's not too hard to take, but again, like I said, computer players will always take it better than you will. And then I hit the frickin' finish pole, which is not going to help me. At the very least, Hayami's not in 1st, so he's not going to get too many points for this. I will likely get last place because I fell off my vehicle. And for some reason, the turning's acting really weird right here. Sometimes that's when you have like a very heavy wave course like this one. Sometimes the waves can really mess with your turning. You have to be very, very careful. So yeah, unfortunately not a great finish, but that's okay. I had a pretty strong start with 3 first places in a row. And the person behind me didn't really get that much of an advantage from this one, so I'm essentially ahead by only to first place now, I think is the best way to describe it.
You finished fourth and got 1 point. Move on to the next
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's alright. We're still doing pretty good, and we'll definitely have enough points to qualify. So next up, we're going to move to Port Blue. Port Blue is another course that a shortcut will be opening up on in this version. And this shortcut is the worst shortcut in the game, because it's a shorter path, but it's a lot harder to go through, because, as we'll see in just a minute here, this is a very narrow section. You'll hit the wall constantly. And again, I feel like the computer players just know how to take this section flawlessly. And it's really, really obnoxious. Now, they'll sometimes also like hit the walls too, so you can kind of use that to your advantage. But it seems like in every lap, there'll at least be one computer player who takes that section flawlessly. So you can't really afford to get too behind. Just try to go as slow as you can and carefully as you can. Actually knocked her off, which is nice. Okay. There we go. Oh, shoot. Oh, get on. See, I don't even feel like I'm doing that section that bad. It's just... Again, they're doing it better, so... That's the downside. So I'm kind of hoping I do not want to get third. Damn it, I got third. Oh, that's really obnoxious, because now Hayami got first. If I would have been able to beat Stewart, I would have been a little more confident, but now I'm less than a first place ahead. I am still ahead, but... Thankfully, I feel like these are the hardest courses to actually do, and everyone actually finished pretty close to each other. Jeter had a very good last lap, it's just it wasn't enough to get that first. So yeah, it looks like me and Hayami are going to be fighting pretty hard for this next one. He actually has been pretty consistent. He's gotten second in every race except that last one where he got a first. So that consistency is going to actually help him quite a bit, I think. So I'm going to hope that he really, really flounders on this course. So here we have Twilight City. This is one of the new courses that gets unlocked in hard mode. It's really, really cool. This course is really neat. Seriously. I should have actually taken that shortcut. Oops. Yeah, there's a shortcut pretty much at the very beginning of the race that you need to take. You don't need to take it, but it's likely you'll definitely need to take it, especially on an expert. But essentially there's this ramp right here, and when you take this ramp, you'll go over the wall and land in this section. Now in expert mode, you actually have to go under the water to get to it, and there's something you can actually do to do that, but I'll talk about that when it's actually relevant, because obviously we don't need to do that here. But, yeah, Twilight City is really, really cool. You know me, I'm a huge fan of, like, kind of the starry night backdrop and just the night sky in general, and this is just the perfect representation of that. Okay, so Jeter's actually doing pretty well on this course, and Hayami is in last place, so let's hope that we can maybe capitalize on his bad performance here. If we can get ahead of Jeter, that'd be great, but I don't think we will. He's too far ahead, I think. He's going to need to mess up in order for us to do that. right there, but I think he's just ahead enough. Yep. Okay, well that's fine. We managed to at least get a second place, and yep, Hayami actually got last, so as long as we do fine in Southern Island, we should be good. And I'm trying to do the math in my head. I think as long as I don't get last and Hayami doesn't get first, I think we got this. So I know we have enough points to qualify. 28 should be enough. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. So let's just avoid getting last place. Last place, if we avoid last place, we'll be fine no matter what. And I'm probably going to ignore the pirate ship, just because I don't want to have any issues with just crashing or even just losing my grip on my vehicle. So we're going to play this one pretty conservatively, just so we don't, you know, lose. Yeah, I think honestly we did pretty well. Had some rough spots for sure, but hey, all we need to do is get first at the very end. That's the only thing that matters, and I think we're gonna do it. Heck, Hayami's actually starting off pretty bad in this too, so I think we'll be even better anyway. Oh, look at that whale. Whoa! Shoot. That's not good. Now, again, we're fine, because he's only in third place, so he can't be in first. That's the main thing. Which he is not, so we should be good. I would still like to beat him, though, just to have safety and security of not needing to worry about points. We did it. And honestly, we weren't that far behind either. It's again just the fact that we fell off the vehicle. That's really the only reason we didn't get first. And there we go. Man, Jeter almost once again took Hayami out. It was just 1 point away. Poor Stewart, though. Stewart's not doing really good in these championship matches. Oh well. So there we go. We made it through hard mode. Little tougher than normal mode, as you can see. Even though we still have experts on the table, I'm not too worried, because I'll at least be using my best characters, so at least we'll have that going for us. But again, it'll still be tough. It is still expert mode for a reason, so you know, can't relax too much. But yeah, I think we did pretty good. Gosh, this music is so good. I do really like this music.
You get to move up to the next class.
Yay, next class. It's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really hard. Let's put our initials in, SK. And we did it. Okay, folks. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time for the Expert Championship. So it's going to be a difficult set of races. I'll go ahead and say that right now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you're enjoying the project, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Later, folks.